Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this video. My name is Jamaica Cost. I am the founder and also executive director of the Hummingbird Project. So I am coming to you on this day just to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time to even watch this quick video and also to learn about our upcoming human trafficking and race symposium. It is happening on June 14th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it will be virtually. I am coming on here to share why we're doing this symposium at this time. We are doing this symposium in honor of Juneteenth, which is June 19th, and we know that Juneteenth is a pivotal movement and a pivotal time of our history that brings forth the understanding of freedom and fullness of liberty. And so when I think about us doing this conversation on human trafficking and race, some may say, well, what's the reason for the intersection, or why is race even prevalent when it comes to disproportionate numbers of Black children and brown children and Black adults and brown adults being trafficked? Because in our country, there's a disproportionate amount from the population to those who have been trafficked in mass numbers in the Black and brown community. And so at the Hummingbird Project, our work is to be culturally specific to the Black community, also known as those of the African diaspora, in regards to sex trafficking and also sexual assault. And so we are focusing on getting this message out to our community. So the question is, well, why? Why Juneteenth? And why our community? Because when I look at statistics like nationally, 40% of survivors of sex trafficking being identified as Black. However, there's only less than 13% population in our country. That's a huge disproportionate number to our population. So the question is, well, what is causing there to be more victims of sex trafficking than any other race? And so, with that, we look at Juneteenth, and I think about how June represents the fullness of freedom from slavery in the United States for Black people. But what I can't go to Juneteenth without thinking about how it started. And so, in my research, as I look back, because I have to be honest, I didn't learn the fullness and totality of what Juneteenth meant until my adulthood. That's one area that the reason why we're having this conversation now is that there's no one that in our generation or in the that should not be aware in the Black community about the history of what we have been through and what we are overcoming, right? And so it's important for us to go back in order for us to understand why it's important to go forward and what tools we need to go forward. And so when I think about President Abraham Lincoln signing the Emancipation Proclamation, I believe in 1863. I think about how that was the first starting of freedom, but freedom didn't come on that day, as we know, because the Civil War began because our country split. Right. And so if I'm saying this and you're thinking, what are we talking about? It's time to do our research and learn the history, just like I had to do. And so there's this split in our country where some say we want slavery to continue, and others say we will agree with our country's standard of abolishing slavery. And so there's this war that goes on for 2 years, a heinous war, one of the worst. They say it's the most deaths and the most heinous act that ever happened on our soil amongst ourselves. And so there's this split in our country for 2 years. So now think about it. Emancipation Proclamation, there's been this announcement that you're free, but you're really not free. So you're still in bondage. You're still living in this system that exploits you, uses you, and you've now been free on paper, but there's no freedom. It's the same correlation in this human trafficking movement. Right? There are many that are still in bondage. There are many that are still being exploited right in our own communities. And so the information and the language may be going out, but there's still a lot of people that are still being affected, even though on paper they should be free. Right? these crimes should not be happening. It is illegal in our country for sex trafficking or labor trafficking to exist. Human trafficking is illegal in our country, right? So it's on paper. And so then you have this difference in battle that's happening and separation of concepts and ideas. And it's time to bring that together as a community to say enough is enough. Our silence is division. If we are silent on the matter, then we are sitting, there is no fence. Either you're with the movement or you're against the movement. There is no fence. And so we're moving that fence of comfort, which is silence, which is lack of engagement, which is lack of knowledge about what's happening and lack of resources. And so that's why we are bridging this together with Juneteenth. But then here's the finale. Then we know Juneteenth represents when Texas, I think I can't remember the name of the city or the area, but the Civil War is over. I have my note here. The Civil War is over in June of 1865, and then in Juneteenth is June 19th, right? And so you see this, I'm sorry, it was 2 months difference. I'm so sorry. It was 2 months difference in time span. I'm not going to put the dates out there. Let's do our research, right? um it's 2 months time span before when the Civil War ends and this message reaches Texas, right? And so now you have these people in our country, which are Black people that were in slavery, that were brought in slavery to the United States, right? And you find out that not only is the rest of the country now liberated, the slavery, they are the captives are set free, but then you have this sect of people that are unaware. You have another level of depth that you have to reach, that are unaware that freedom is their portion. And that's what we're doing today. We are going for the one. The 99 is secure. The 99 is being reached. The 99 is being impacted. The 99 is being given resources and education and awareness and eliminating the vulnerability to make them less susceptible such a heinous crime such as sex trafficking. But the one, that's who we're going after. And so we are talking to the Black church or historically Black church or churches that have dominant congregants of that identify as being Black or of African descent. We're going after that one because that one will release a, a resounding movement, a resounding voice. There's still so much power and so much influence in the Black church, in the Black community, that when we are engaged with information, like that rider that came into Texas and told them, today is the day. I know that the announcement was made 2 years ago. I know that the war ended 2 months ago, but I'm telling you today, put down everything that was connected to you of your slavery and captivity. Today, you're free. And so we are sending that same message to those who are in captivity in our communities, that are we are unaware of, perhaps, or maybe even aware of, but have lack of resources, lack of knowledge, lack of strategies on how to connect and engage. And so that's why we're having this conversation on June 14th. And so I'm hoping that you will come out, that you leaders, lay members, community activists, community connections, whether you're Black, white, Hispanic, etc., we are allies with everyone. We need everyone on deck. We need everyone involved in this conversation, but particularly this conversation will be linguistically and culturally relevant to the Black community and even specifically to Black churches. So join us, connect with us. It is a free symposium. I don't want you to see the word free and think that it's a lack of value. No, there are experts that are coming to the table in this conversation. There are leaders in the Black church and the communities that will be joining us for this symposium to impart and give information that we can be empowered to make the movement that's needed to see exactly what they saw on June 19th in 1865. God bless you. If you have any questions, please inbox us. I will make sure that we respond expeditiously. We're a little less than 1 week away from this culminating event. And so we want you to join us. We want you to ask your questions. We want you to engage with us. We want you to ask us the hard questions if need be. Inbox us. You can visit us at our website, the Hummingbird Project CT.com. If you would like to register /events, and you can register right there and you will receive the link and information to join. This will not be virtually broadcast on any social media outlets, and so you will need the link in order to come into the live stream. And again, we thank you. You can partner with us at any time. We come to churches to have local conversations about eliminating vulnerabilities, about online safety with youth, about engaging family on how to support survivors, engaging family on how to understand and recognize the definitions of even the vastness of sexual assault. And so we have these conversations in order to empower us to end it and empower us to heal from it. God bless you, and I hope to see you on June 14th.